Hey, hello everyone, my name is AJ and I don't have a good intro. I know I normally don't start stream by using my regular intro, but I thought for today I would just like try it out, see if maybe it'll start this stream better. Because the stream starts. They normally are not very good streams. uh, Alright, announce the Discord I'm live, and I think I am ready to draw. Oh wait, hang on a second. Chat on my phone. I always forget something or other. Where is it? Hello, Starry, welcome! It seems like you're, pretty consistently the first one in the chat. Sorry for coughing in your ear there. Oh, my head is weird today. I'm like all dizzy and stuff. Weird. How long has it been like that? I don't know. I think it's been like since last night. Because last night I went to sleep at like 5 p.m. Because I was just really tired after my midterm. And I feel like I've been like really groggy and disoriented ever since. Like, I can't believe it's 5 p.m. right now because like, it's all bright and sunny and my brain isn't used to that. And also I haven't been up for that long. I was up all night because I had my nap at 5 p.m. I wasn't able to sleep at all through the night, like not even a little bit. So I fell asleep at like 7 a.m. and then I didn't wake up until 1 p.m., which I'm very disappointed about because I had church this morning that I completely slept through because I even slept through my alarms. I was so tired. So whoopsie, whoopsie doopsie. Not gonna do that again. I'm just really out of it. My brother wanted to play Helldivers today, like just a few minutes ago. And I wanted to play Helldivers today. I wanted to play with him, but man, I'm just so disoriented that I don't think I'd be able to do it. Sorry about that. My throat's been really clogged also. Like I've just like noticed that a lot is that I cough a lot in my streams, like more than is probably normal. Anyway, so the plan is today, I have here a screenshot of Charlie's bedroom, and I need more reusable backgrounds for an arrangement was made. Like I'm especially gonna need more shots of her bedroom, because that's a place that gets used frequently enough that I would like to have it. Um, so yeah, that's what we're doing today. All right. Oh, hang on. My phone chat is broken again. Let me reload that. There we go. That's better. All right. I guess I will. I'll start now. Unfortunately, the only screenshot that I could find of Charlie's bedroom that was at an angle that I actually liked, it's really low quality. So unfortunately, I do have to redraw the whole thing. So that's fun. You know, this part up here kind of looks like a belt buckle. Hey, Lucy Moth, good to see you. Mm. Come on, please, please. I did it. Hey, lovely, good to see you. Yay stream while we figure out taxes and stuff. Oh man, taxes are the worst. I had to do my taxes just this last week. Why is my mouse different? What? So not only do we have a cross now we have a circle. Is that my brush size? Oh, it is my brush size. Okay. Man, I really want this. I want this cross mark to disappear. Oh, and thank you for the follow, Neko Star. I appreciate that. Been a while since I've been able to catch an art stream. Excited to watch you work your magic. Thank you. It's good to see you. What we're doing today is I need more reusable backgrounds for an arrangement was made. So that's what I'm working on. I actually, in chapter 10, I actually do need like a shot specifically of Charlie's bedroom. So I figured I might as well make the reusable background now. Fortunately, the only image I was able to find of an angle that I liked was really low quality, so that stinks. That's a lot more work that I have to do. I forgot to follow you since the first stream. It's your fault! It's your fault it took so long to get monetized! It's all your fault! Hey, totally not, Max. Oh, I hear another noise. Thank you for the follow, totally not, Max. Oh. There we go. This looks stupid. What are we doing? Making a reusable background for an arrangement was made. I'm doing a Charlie's bedroom. I love the GR. What do you mean? The garden. Oh. Yeah, I probably will have to. Speaking of that, that reminds me, I do have to make a reusable background to use in the Garden of Eden for an arrangement was made. I hate this. This sucks. What I understand about the rule for your set of Hellborn designs is that they must be based off a real demon. How that demon looks thereafter can be whatever you want with this inspiration from various sets of said IRL demons. Yep, that sounds pretty darn accurate. Speaking of which, that actually reminds me, I found this weird little freak of a demon the other day. Hang on, let me show you. Where is it? Oh man, I have the tab on my phone. Hang on. Let me find it. Okay, I remember the name now. I believe the way that you pronounce its name is it's called the Hupia. It's like from I don't know how to pronounce the name of this one, but I'm pretty sure that's like a culture that was in like, dang it, what was it called? Hawaii, I think. Anyway, it's like a faceless ghosty demon. It seems like it's very little known because there's like hardly any artwork of it ever. Like when I was looking the other day, I got better results on Google. Hang on. This is what I saw last night. And I think this is a very cool design. So I was thinking of actually including these if ever I can, or at least have them like exist, because I think they're a very cool little monster. What they are is they're like the spirits of the dead that like didn't make it to heaven, so they just like stick around on Earth, right? And what they would do is they would, they would kidnap people. Um, this design is not lore accurate to what they are actually described as looking like. But I do kind of like the idea of the mask anyway, because that is a very scary mask. There we go. Smash! No! No! Stop! Please! No! Man, I need some water. Everyone take a water break. You all need to drink water. And I don't mean just any fluid, I mean water specifically. Hello to my lovely 9 viewers that are in here. It's good to see you all. Water is swag indeed. Indeed it is. How's your guys' Sunday going? I'm drawing an angelic skeleton. That sounds cool. AJ, what do you think of the character Ia? Just asking out of curiosity. I don't know who that is. I don't think I know what you're talking about. Oh, what show or game or whatever does this person come from? Oh, did you mean character AI? Oh, oh, that makes a lot more sense. I think character AI is fine. I don't really care too much about it. I used to use it a lot. Like anytime the duck would go to sleep, I would get bored and I would go roleplay with character AI. But after a while, I got really bored of it because it just kept having the same responses over and over and over, no matter what I did. And that gets really boring really fast. So like, yeah, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it for like a month or two, and then I just got bored, Is for me with role playing, the fun part is like the stories, the big long stories that you can create just by, like just messing around. For me, role playing is like just like one step up above fanfics. So I really enjoy roleplay, but character AI, it doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't have the memory or the creativity or anything required in order to be entertaining long term, My little sister Moose Cat was like really addicted to character AI for a while. Um I have no idea if she still is, but she might. She was addicted to this to this Deco bot, She really likes Deku from My Hero Academia. She absolutely adores him. And oh my goodness, her response is like, I remember my little sister Hermit, took Moose Cat's iPad from her to read through her messages with permission, of course, not like stealing or anything. And my goodness, Moose Cat's replies to the AI sounded just as AI generated as, as his. It was really entertaining. It's quite funny. Because, like, the conversation just kept on repeating itself over and over and over again. Oh, what's character AI? Like a chatbot or something? It is a chatbot, yeah. I'm drawing a lot of circles, rectangles, and triangles because I'm going to delete my consciousness if I can't learn to draw. That's a good idea. I can't draw straight lines. I am an ignoramus who cannot draw straight lines. You know, fellas, I'm really disappointed that the out of context video didn't get more views because I low-key thought it was really funny. Hang on. I am sick and tired of the chat settings just like continuously like blurring out words that don't need to be blurred out. Hang on. Let's I'm going to see if I can fix that real quick. Let me see. Dream Manager. Filter. Oh, that's for something else. Chat settings? Hmm. I don't know how to do it from here. I'll have to do it after the stream. I'm sorry, did you just say I'm eating food and totally not somebody's bloodline? Starry! Starry, please! When you talked about sirens last time, their classical depiction only had them as bird-like with fish influence happening during the medieval times when the mermaid was also appearing and often called interchangeably with sirens. Yeah, what about that? Starry, you are weird today. Starry's weird every day. That's why Starry got hired to be an egg boy. Not egg boy, just an egg boy, I'm sorry. She plays two of them, although I do currently forget which ones she is. We love Starry here. W Starry. Sneg and Cheggy. I knew you were Cheggy. I just couldn't remember if you were Sneg or not. I just want to draw my girlfriend Belle. You have a girlfriend? Oh, Belphegor. Oh, right. For a second there, I thought you got a girlfriend in real life. Wouldn't that be a twist? Quinn has 0 Riz? I don't think so. I mean, he knocked Adam up, so surely he must have some Riz. We talked about sirens going from bird to fish as though it were a part of their lore instead of a change in mythology. Yes. Yes, that is exactly right. There we go. Should I drink water or eat the water bottle? I think you should drink the water first and eat the bottle afterwards. If you eat the bottle now before drinking the water, you're gonna make a big mess. Just clearing the fact that your Mandela effect on creatures' mythology? Okay, I get that. Microplastics go hard! Speaking of microplastics, did you guys, like, hear or see that, like, where, the California fires, the California fires? Did you guys hear that they've started, like, building houses out of freaking styrofoam? In order to, like, they're building houses out of foam because materials for houses are too expensive. Can you believe that? That is the worst idea I think I've ever heard, ever. They're doing what? Yes, they are doing that. I cannot believe they're doing that. I can't believe that's real. I thought it was fake, but it is real. When I first saw it, I thought for certain I had, like, scrolled onto an Onion post, because it just sounds so fake, but it is entirely real. That came from a legitimate news outlet. It is the worst idea I've ever had. If you spill a single ounce of nail polish in your own home, your entire house is gonna melt. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't understand why they're using foam if materials are so expensive. Like, just, it's wood. Wood is not, it's wood. Use wood. Or, use concrete. Concrete is cheap. Concrete is super cheap. There is no cheaper house than a house made out of concrete. Because concrete, it is sand and gravel and mud and water. That's it. And of course, you do need, like, steel beams sometimes in order for, like, more structure and whatnot. But oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. In 20 years, we're gonna have ads. Like, in 20 years, we are going to get ads that say if your house is built out of foam, you may be entitled to monetary compensation. Cali is literally Mammon's hiding place. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't know you could build houses out of foam and people would just go with that. So, anyway, I guess the houses agreed are made out of foam now. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that's real. Like, I can't believe a foam house isn't against the building code. The Amish came to California and they built like 20 houses in like 48 hours. And those houses are not up to code, even though they're made with real building materials, because California's freaking whack. AJ, does Charlie purr or make dragon sounds while sleeping? Oh. Well, I don't know what a dragon noise would be. I don't think I fully understand. She does purr, but her purring sounds more like, it would sound more like a low growl. AJ, how is public execution? Not fun, to be honest. Cali is the best for weather, but the worst for living conditions and finances. Well, the reason why, I don't know if I would say California weather is good, considering they burn down pretty regularly every single summer. They have the worst fire management ever. It's like, it used to be a thing, like when I was a kid, it used to be a thing that if ever you found any forest fire ever, that you were supposed to put it out. And really, you're not actually supposed to do that. Because, you know, part of nature is forest fires. Forest fires are a natural phenomenon. They are supposed to happen. And good forest management includes regular fires. But if you don't have regular fires, then the trees overgrow and they get too close together, and then it becomes a serious hazard. Because then when you have a forest fire, when the trees are too close together and it hasn't been burned in a while, then the entire forest, it will spread like nothing you've ever seen. And that's how we get the enormous forest fires that we've seen in California. It all comes down to poor management because of a misunderstanding of nature. Can't imagine the diversity hiring that happened in the fire department was very good either. Like, I'm sorry, but I really don't want an obese black woman to be the person who's coming to save me and pull me out of a burning building. I don't think she could even heave herself up the stairs. There are just some environments where diversity hiring is the worst idea that's ever been. I think for the most part, diversity hiring doesn't really matter, but if you're a teacher, if you're a cop, or if you're a firefighter, you should not be a diversity hire. Leave diversity hiring for Hollywood where it doesn't really matter and eventually it'll stop happening in like 10, 20 years because it doesn't work. Just funny idea. How about just hire people based on merit? How about that? How about we stop being racist? How about that? Oh no, is Quinn gonna bang Mammon now? Is that what I'm hearing? Did you guys see that they're making a remake of Harry Potter, and for Severus Snape they cast a black dude? Like, not even a scary looking black dude. This black dude that they hired is the cutest looking guy I've ever seen. He's got puppy dog features. And they hired him to play Snape! I don't even like Harry Potter. And they did that, like, at this point, I don't even care if they cast a black guy. I mean, I care a little bit. But, like, come on, seriously? If you're gonna cast a black dude to play Snape, you know, at least Please, for the love of God, just pick somebody who looks scary. It's Severus Snape. He abuses children for fun. Isn't that messed up? They picked a black guy to play a dude who abuses children for fun? Am I drawing Charlotte's bedroom? I'm drawing Charlie's bedroom for an arrangement was made because I need a little bit more footage for that. And also I just need a background. My mom loves Harry Potter, but I'm sure she wouldn't care because we're full to the brim of melanin. Okay, that's fine. Honestly, I do think there are times when race swaps can be done and can be done well. But there are just some characters you should not race swap. Like Severus Snape of all people. Why him? And now we have a story. Now that Severus Snape is black, now we have a story where this black kid gets bullied by a white dude, he gets rejected by his white crush, and then he goes on to bully white children! What were we thinking? What were we thinking? Reminds me of them making Percy Jackson Zeus black. Why did they do that? I can't believe they made Zeus black, but they kept Poseidon white. That doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, I don't know very much about biology, but I kind of have a feeling if you have a dark black sun, your other sun isn't going to be pasty white. What's next? Casting a 3-year-old as Voldemort. I don't think I would have as much problem with race swaps if it went the other direction too, but it only ever goes one way, and it's always white to black. It never goes any other direction. I don't think I've ever seen it happen where it goes white to Asian. That's never happened. It's always white to black. Oh wait, there was one time when it happened white to Asian, and that was in Velma. When they changed everyone's race except for Fred because they wanted a white guy to dog on the entire time. I totally forgot about her. Even still, it's almost always white to black. And it's almost always like white to black woman, and the black woman is always like really aggressive and insufferable and unbearable. I don't like that. I don't like that in media. I've come to expect every single black female character to be aggressive or insufferable and or lesbian. Like, why can't we have any like soft, feminine black women? They exist. Honestly, that's so racist, honestly. That's racist against black people to make every single black woman insufferable and aggressive. Honestly, these people, they always make a black character before they make an actual character, you know? I really don't get it, because it's not that hard to just make good representation. It's not that hard. It's really easy, actually. Like, all you have to do to make a good character, a good, diverse character, is first make the character, and then you think about the diversity. I like aggressive black women, but that's because I like aggressive women in general. Based, kinda, yeah. I don't even think it's like necessarily wrong to to have like aggressive black women characters. I don't think that's necessarily bad or anything. It's just I just don't want every single one of them to be aggressive, you know? I don't want to be watching the same exact character every single time, just with a slightly different outfit, you know? That's so boring. It's so racist to watch a show or to see something, and I see a black female on screen, and I think, okay, I know what I'm getting here. I'm gonna get an aggressive bitch that I don't want to watch. I have learned to avoid media that has black women in it because of how horribly they keep being written and how like insufferable and annoying they always are, and I don't like that. I don't want to live in a world like this. I also think like diversity is also really bad because every time they switch a character's race, the actor that is playing that character becomes the face of a movement that people despise. And I feel so bad for them because they get so much hate and it's not fair. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to the fans. It's not fair to anyone. The only people who like it are the studios that are insisting upon this. And you know, I almost have this conspiracy theory in the back of my head. I almost wonder if they are doing this on purpose because they are racist and they want everyone to hate black people as much as they do, and the way that they accomplish that is by purposely making them as insufferable as possible, playing into stereotypes and making everybody hate them. So, like, they've gone as far as to ask a black African woman to play Jesus. Like, that's not even, it's beyond parody at this point. But they cast an African lesbian woman to play Jesus in an upcoming project. Look it up, it's real. They cast the lady that played the witch from the new Wicked movie. They cast that person. I wish I was joking. I really wish I was joking. Like whether or not Jesus was like pasty white, like that's up for debate. You know, he was Jewish and he lived in Rome. You know, they had a variety of skin tones there. It was very possible he could have been olive, maybe even a dark olive, but he would not have been an African black woman. We know for a fact that Jesus, he was not Asian and he was not African. Those are the two things we know for absolute certain. I don't have any sympathy for Rachel Zegler, and she's playing a race swap character. I dislike her for other reasons. I agree. Honestly, I think that actors that are playing race swap characters can still endear themselves to the public. I mean, they're always going to get hate for it. They're always going to get even racism for it. Because, you know, that happens. People are racist. It does happen. Oh, man, Rachel Zegler is another beast. Even if she wasn't playing a race swapped character, I don't think anyone would like her. She shot herself in the foot. Wicked is a good movie, though. I haven't seen it yet, but I don't know. I'm a little nervous about watching it, cause like the lady that played I think her name's Elphaba, right? The lady that played her, when the movie, like when the first poster dropped, the poster sucked, okay? Like, she was staring head on into the camera, her lips were all green, she just looked expressionless and emotionless, and the poster was awful. And so some fans who loved the original musical and were also excited for the upcoming project edited the poster to put the shadow back over her eyes and make her lips red to more closely reference the poster from the musical. And this lady, this this lady. I was trying to think of an harpy. That's the word I was looking for. This harpy got so butthurt that she went on a harassment campaign against this poor fan who did nothing wrong. Just don't like actors anymore. I really don't. I mean, I didn't really care before, but now I just have a dislike of every single person in Hollywood. They are all so entitled. They think they're so much better than literally everyone else. We could have gotten Moist Critical Jesus. Legit, I would give so much money to have Moist Critical play Jesus instead of that lady. At least Moist Critical looks the part. even if like the way he speaks I don't think is accurate at all. But you know, Moist Critical has like that specific way of talking in a way that is like it's monotone, but in a way that is incredibly endearing. I would love that. What new things are you adding to the bedroom? Just higher quality image. So I'm making this background specifically so that I can reuse it over and over again. Jesus referencing Bible verses like pop culture references would be awesome. AJ, did you listen to Abracadabra? Are you having a stroke? Oh, Abracadabra! I have listened to that song. I think it's pretty nice. It reminds me of being in middle school again, like late elementary, early middle school. Cause that was like it reminds me of Lady Gaga's like old style of music. I love it actually. Also, the dances, for as silly as they look, are also kind of goated. Hear me out, Dwayne Johnson is Jesus, please. No! No, I don't want that. God! Hear me out, the Pope is Jesus? Well, it would be more similar, but he's too old. Jesus was like 30. Morgan Freeman is God. I mean, actually, I wouldn't mind Morgan Freeman as God, like, as, like, the voice, because he's got a really nice voice. Aquafina is the Virgin Mary, please, no. Please not that. I actually don't mind Aquafina as much as I probably could. I know that some people really hate her, but I'm not familiar enough with a drama to like actually hate her. And I actually don't mind her voice. In fact, there are times when I have actually enjoyed her voice acting. But I feel like inserting her into everything is just becoming annoying and repetitive. The first time I actually ever heard any of Awkwafina's work was in Raya the Last Dragon, which was a movie that sucked. But I think she did a pretty good job portraying that character. Kevin Hart is Judas! I said Judas, I meant Judas. People only hate her because she pushes her personality into the character. Yeah, it seems like Awkwafina's range is fairly limited, like extremely limited. It seems like she can only play herself, which is, you know, not the mark of a great actor. But you know, there are some people who can't even play themselves. What would dragons be in your version of hell? I haven't fully decided yet. I just remembered an old idea that me and my friends had for a cinematic universe. People don't like her because of cultural appreciation, apparently. Okay, so something I heard is... Actually, you know what? I'm not educated enough to speak on that. I also, like, don't remember the details well enough to actually say anything. Will Smith's Joseph. Oh, appropriation. That makes more sense. I like Awkwafina's voice, it's unique. Like her having a small side role that isn't too upfront like Raya Last Dragon was, something like her role in Migration. Yeah. I think she can make a decent side character, but I don't think she has the range or the talent to play a main. It's fine. Some people are like that. You know, not every actor is suited to every character. Jack Black. Oh man. I'm low-key getting sick of Jack Black. He feels like he's become the go-to actor for any child's movie. I used to really like Jack Black. He used to be one of my favorite actors, but I've kind of gotten really sick of him. It also seems like he keeps on playing the same character over and over again. I don't know what this is, so I'm just gonna ignore it. Imagine though we got the first movie called The Genesis or whatever, and it's like creation and what happened to Adam and Eve afterwards. I would watch that. I would watch the heck out of that, actually. I think something that I would like actually really like to see is I would like to see the Bible, the anime. There's so many good stories in the Bible, and a lot of them are like fairly dark and adult and mature. I would love to see the Bible like as accurate as it could possibly be done in the style of an anime. That would be the coolest thing to me ever. I would watch that so much. I don't trust people with Adam and Eve's story. I don't either. I don't trust most people to write Adam and Eve's story, whether they're Christian or not, because it seems like a lot of people like to insert their ideas about gender ideology onto Adam and Eve when I think that's stupid. with Christians inserting their gender ideology onto them, it seems like it's like, yeah, you're a woman and women ought to submit because when Eve didn't submit, she ruined everything and you should never listen to your wife ever. And then when non-Christians do it, it's like, look at how sexist Christianity is because they make Eve submit because she's a woman because she messed everything up. And this is a tale about how it's good to be sexist. I don't like that. I don't like any of that. Like, is it really hard to just imagine that these two people are just two people doing things? Sometimes people make mistakes. Too many people have the interpretation that Lucifer cucks Adam. Yeah, I'm really sick of that also. I mean, it is funny. It's a funny idea, but like in my head, like the way that my religion interprets the fruit is is literal. We think the fruit was literal. There are a lot of people that interpret the fruit as being a metaphor for sex, and I just think that's stupid. Like they think that the original sin was sex before marriage, but that just doesn't make any sense. Cuz Adam and Eve, they were already married. They were arranged by God himself. I think the fruit is an apple. Well, I don't know about that because it never says what kind of fruit the fruit is. I think people have kind of like over time imprinted the fruit as being an apple because there were I think it was in Norse mythology where there was this tree that had a special apple or something like that. So I actually don't subscribe to that idea. I don't think the fruit that was in the garden is a fruit that currently exists on Earth. That would be dumb. Like, why would it still be around? They left the garden! Did you make succubi serpentine, as some sources describe them, as a snake-like, while the modern version that Helluva borrows from? Man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I get all my ideas. Well, Lilith isn't a part of Christianity and is a Jewish myth, not even actually in Jewish myth, outside the myth. Yeah, Lilith is not. Lilith technically sort of like almost is a religious figure, but like she's made up. She's not real. She is the most made up thing that's ever been. She's a bedtime story. Like even the religions that she does belong to, she's always been a myth. She has never been real once ever. She's no different than Dante's Inferno. She's just well, not even Christian. She's Jewish fan fiction. Apparently, by those people's logic, artificial insemination has been around since the dawn of humanity. I don't think I fully understand your thought process there. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, sex in the garden would not have been a sin. It was a commandment. They were commanded to multiply. They were commanded to multiply. You do believe that the fruit was a metaphor for sex, then you basically believe that God set them up to fail because you can't have sex and also still have babies. It's not possible. It's just not like that. God's chill. And some sexist dude wrote her to show that women were bad for not submitting, which backfired. Yeah, real. Yeah, in the process of writing the story like that, he made Adam look like an actual sociopath. AJ, why the reference has AJ, why the reference has an 87? Is that the Hotel of 87? What? I think you just hit me with the chat message of impenetrable confusion, because what does that mean? I mean, I'm certain that's like a Five Nights at Freddy's reference, but I don't know what the heck brought it up. No one mentioned anything about 87. What are you on? Yo, imagine if I wrote the Bible Cinematic Universe as a fan fiction. Go for it. It's already been an hour and we're not even halfway done. That's pathetic. I really need to learn how to get good. I used to be really good at drawing really fast. Like, I used to be able to do an entire comic page, like full body shading, color, everything, in a day. And I can't do that anymore. And I think part of the reason why I can't do that anymore is because my art is better and I put a lot more detail into my work. But I think I've also lost some of my speed skills. I need to move my hand faster, and I need to make my brain work faster too. That's what I need. I don't trust movies based on biblical stories because I watched Noah's Ark as a younger kid and it legit traumatized me. Which Noah's Ark? I'm sure there are many. Describe it. That and some of them are really inaccurate, yeah. There's also just, like, frankly, just a lot of bad Christian media out there. Because at some point, somebody somewhere recognized that there was a demand for Christian media that no one else was filling. And so they just made the worst content known to man, knowing that Christians would eat it up because there was nothing else. We need more Prince of Egypt type movies. I agree. The Prince of Egypt was a fantastic movie. I want to write Adam in a way that makes him sexist, but in a well-meaning way. He didn't ever let Lilith or Eve hunt for food with him since he didn't want either of them to be put in danger and it'd be more efficient for them to cook the food he collected. Yes, I agree. It seems like people don't write sexism correctly. It seems like every time I've seen somebody write sexism into a show, they always do it in the dude bro Andrew Tate way of doing it. Which, you know, those people do exist. That is a facet of sexism, but most sexism is not like that. Most sexism is infantilizing women. Most sexism comes from a place of well-meaning people. A lot of well-meaning people are sexist. And, you know, sometimes there are lots of sexist beliefs, and also, like, there are all kinds of prejudiced beliefs that do come from a place of good, and that come from a place of wanting to do good, you know?
A lot of prejudice beliefs are founded on a little bit of truth. So like sexism for women, like that's founded on truth. Women are biologically weaker than men. That is just true. And so sometimes people take that and they take it too far. They take that belief that women are weak and they take it to an extreme that isn't correct. Or like women being emotional. That is true. Women are frequently emotional. And I think like some people like take that to an extreme where they think that women are crazy and every single emotion that a woman has is over the top and doesn't deserve to be acknowledged because women are emotional. They think that when that's not necessarily true. But you can tell like it's not completely founded it's not founded off of nothing. Cuz like take like women in video games for example, right? Like, women experience sexism in video games all the time because like dudes make sexist jokes, but like the difference between that I think a lot of women will misinterpret like jokes that are like kind of like on the meaner side. They'd misinterpret dark humor because women tend to be socially violent. So I think the experience between men and women when it comes to jokes like that may come across mean-spirited, I think there's like a cultural thing between men and women where women might not realize that men don't mean some of the rants and things they say. So like when you're gaming, if you're doing bad at the game, your teammates are gonna dog on you. That's just true. But there's like this difference with men and women where like men will like play it off and women will get upset because it hurts their feelings. That's okay. It is okay to be a sensitive baby. Because of that, because women can be like oversensitive about jokes and whatnot, that like gets blown out of proportion to the point where like a man will do something like that's way out of line and then they'll like blame the woman for getting upset about it because they have that belief. I think it's more complex than that, AJ. I'm sure you're right. I mean, I'm not a genius or anything. I'm just I'm just saying stuff. Like remember guys, keep in mind, I'm an idiot. I am a total idiot. I mean, I'm very interested in a lot of cultural things and stuff like that. I am fascinated by the way that culture forms. And the way that like biology can also play into the way that culture forms. There's a lot of really interesting things to be talked about and discussed and researched there. But at the end of the day, I'm still an idiot. And trying to boil down any like societal thing as complex as sexism, there's always going to be nuance that's lost there because it is so complex. Sexism is a very complex like method of thinking that is formed through over thousands and thousands of years of humanity's existence. I hate nice guys. I hate nice guys too. Nice guys suck. Nice guys are actually the worst. They're a plague on society. But I think they're also society's fault. What do you mean by nice guys? So nice guys are dudes that like feel entitled to a woman's affection or love because they're nice to her and not complete jerks. but like by being entitled, they are also being jerks. And whenever a woman rejects them, they think it's because, oh, I'm the nice guy, and what she actually wants is she wants an abusive prick. And I think the reason why some of these nice guys form, not all of them, but I think part of the reason that these nice guys form is because they see women smut. Because in women's smut, there is like this trope of the bad boy and stuff like that. So obviously, like look at Book Talk. The men that are in the books on Book Talk are some of the worst men ever. They have so many red flags. They're so abusive. But like people don't really care because it's porn and it's not real. And I'm glad that at the very least Book Talk also like does acknowledge that they would never want to be around these men in real life because that would be scary. And I think that's something that some people miss, is that this is porn, it's not real. Smut is porn, it's not real, and this is not what women actually want in real life. Like, it's a fantasy. Most guys misinterpret that women want a good partner, so they try to pretending to be what they think as good while having the mentality that should automatically make them attractive. Yes. They also like it seems like a lot of nice guys like they also like tend to think very lowly of themselves in terms of like personality. Not personality, but like in terms of looks, right? A lot of nice guys, I think they're ugly, and a lot of them actually are. But I don't think they realize, hey, you can fix that. Like, everybody's a 7. Everybody on the planet Earth, for the most part, is a 7. It just depends, like, but you can take your number down way lower if you don't do things like, shower. Like, shower, brush your hair, brush your teeth, like, wear something that looks nice, and hey, you'll get girls. You do not have to be attractive to get girls. You don't even have to be skinny to get girls. Oh, is the Hermit here? Hello, Hermit. What are you guys talking about? I just got here. A lot of different things. I don't even know. Titan from Megamind is a nice guy. Titan is a prime example. And I don't even mean to say that just because I'm repeating Rowan. But, like, legit, that is a perfect example of a quote-unquote nice guy. Because, he was into Roxanne, right? But, Roxanne wasn't into him, and he refused to ever accept that. I think that if Hal had lost some weight, done his hair good, and put on a better shirt, and then just gone out and tried to find a different girl, he could have been happy. He could have found somebody who loved him. There is somebody for everybody in this world, no matter how much you suck. You just have to be willing to let go of people that aren't interested in you and just go find them. Hyperfixating on somebody who doesn't like you is bad for you and everyone around you. Yeah, it's really bad. Like, it's bad, like, for the person that you're hyperfixating on because, they don't like you, but it's also bad for you because the longer that you hyperfixate on this person who isn't into you, the more partners you are potentially missing because you're not taking the initiative or the time or the energy to go find somebody who actually will like you. There is no Tooth Fairy, there is no Easter Bunny, and there is no Queen of England. Oh, man. That line aged bad? No, it didn't. That line aged the best that it could ever be. Oh, that line was great. I mean, I'm not from the UK, so I don't really care about their queen. And she seemed nice enough, I guess. I don't have any strong opinions, I don't think. I don't know, it was funny when I was a kid, it's still funny now. Toko Fukawa is a prime example of hyperfixation on a guy who wasn't interested in her. I don't know who that is. Oh, Danganronpa! Oh. Well, I'm not actually super familiar with Danganronpa, to be honest. I was never like super hyper fixated on it. The only Danganronpa stuff that I know comes from the second game. I watched a full Game Grumps playthrough of that. I enjoyed myself. But at the same time, the only reason why I enjoyed myself was because of the Game Grumps themselves. I think the game sucks. The writing, it's so bad. The writing is really bad. Like, the reason why I was interested in it is because of what's his face? The dude with the hand. What was his name? The one that gets shipped with sand sometimes in like an ironic way. What was his name? Oh man, I can't remember. He had like the white hair and the green jacket. Nagito, that was his name. Right, that guy. I hated that guy. My best friend from high school, Nat, they were they really liked they really liked Gito. They were like hyper fixated on him. So I was like, oh, my friend is really hyper fixated on this character. Surely he must be good. The worst character in the whole game. Oh my goodness. The first game is better. I'm sure it probably is. I actually did play a little bit of the first game. I didn't get very far. Man, that game is wordy. There are so many words. I never finished the game because I'm just not super into games like that. Like, I would rather read a book. I would rather read a book. Words, that game would kill me. You would explode. You would be 5 minutes into it and you would explode. You know, I think the thing I still didn't like the first game very much because I thought the way that it handled its premise is really weird. Like Monokuma's whole thing is like despair and whatnot. He just wants to generate despair, and that's why he's getting these children to kill each other in the first place, right? So I actually think that could have been an interesting premise, but the way that they handled it was the way that a 14-year-old boy would handle that premise. Also, the idea of like this entire school made of students that have like a special talent that are just like the greatest in the entire world at this one specific thing that they do. I think that's also a really interesting premise. Like I wish like what they would have done is I wish they would have handled it almost like in a religious route, you know? So like what if all these people that like go to this specific school for people that are super talented in this one particular thing, what if this was like a religious thing? What if they had religious significance? And what if the despair thing was a cult? What if the reason that Monokuma was trying to drum up all this despair was because of some kind of cult shenanigans? That would be really cool. I have no idea what we're saying right now, but I'm rolling with it. I'm sorry. Honestly, I don't fully understand it before. I frankly don't understand much of it myself. I need to watch the rest of Game Grumps' playthroughs on the other games. I just haven't done it. It's sad that I have two favorite characters in BBFFB and one of them is Bean. Oh boy. Actually, we have a full cast now. Well, almost a full cast. If Egg on Your Leg says yes to playing Trent, we will have an entirely full cast. And then I do have a little bit of an announcement I do have to make to the group chat about something. You'll find out. It's spoilers. You guys don't get to know. But I think it is important that all of my actors know beforehand. Uh-oh, announcements are scary. Yeah. Sorry, fellas. Hang on, I'm just gonna copy and paste this because this is annoying me. I've been making a Danganronpa fic and I've been trying to make a good one, but I'm always scared of making people mad and picking talents is hard. Yeah, I get that. Don't be scared of making people mad. People are gonna be mad no matter what you do. So just enjoy yourself. Like, when I wrote An Arrangement Was Made, right? And I wrote it on AO3 so that people could read it like without having to wait for me to like voice act and edit and everything and whatnot. Oh my goodness. People just get mad about some stupid stuff, really. So something I've actually been wanting to talk about for a long time, and I think I've like mentioned this in the Discord server before, the amount of misogyny that I encountered on AO3 when I was writing my fic is actually insane. So the way I have written Adam to be like as close to canon as I can get while also still making him hit my special silly little man and you know, conforming to my premise. And yeah, so you know, keeping Adam as a character as I can keep him, he's a jerk. He's a huge jerk. And he is the source for the majority of his own problems. But for some reason, like, people keep on blaming Charlie and Vaggie for every disagreement the three of them have, and it drives me absolutely insane. So, like, there was this one chapter specifically where, like, and some spoilers for anybody who hasn't read the fic. It was this chapter, like, where Adam comes home, like, from that time he ran away, and he goes into his bedroom and there are bars on his windows, and he gets super pissed about that. So he goes out and he starts screaming at Charlie, like, looking very scary and violent. And so Vaggie panics and attacks him, like, you know, a regular person would do. If there's a dude that's twice your friend's size, you're gonna attack that dude to keep your girl safe. And it started a massive physical altercation. And everybody in the comments, well, maybe not everybody, but there were enough people in the comments that were blaming Vaggie entirely for that situation. It made me so mad. Because Vaggie did nothing wrong! Who put them bars, though? It was Alistair. He wanted to stir up some crap. All people also keep saying Adam should just end himself. That was the only time and the last time reading the comments. I can't believe anybody said that. Like, yeah, Adam's going through a lot and it sucks, but the idea that I can't believe that anybody is comfortable enough online to tell me to my face about my own fic that my character should kill himself is insane! What? Who does that? Who does that? That's insane. I can't believe they said that. I mean, it makes me feel happy that I guess I'm really good at conveying that, at conveying hopelessness in a way that like really resonates with people. Oh my goodness, saying that? Why would you ever say that? I can't believe somebody said Adam should kill himself, like, because he is so sad, and think that that would be a good ending for them. I'm legitimately concerned about those people because that is not a normal thought process for somebody to have. Like, to just kill yourself whenever there's, like, no hope left? I mean, that was extremely triggering for me, because I'm gonna be fully honest here, and I'm gonna overshare. I nearly killed myself. When I was in high school, I had a really, really bad mental breakdown, and I made a plan. And thank God I never, like, actually did it. Like, I can't believe they would say that. That triggered me really hard. And, seeing that somebody, like, would say that about another person, like, that tells me that they feel so badly about their own life that they're probably considering it themselves, and that scares me, man. That's bad. Yeah, we've also done that, so we don't see how much of anyone can do that, let alone to a fictional character. Yeah, for real. It's just such a huge overstep of basic human boundaries. Like, man. It's rude, too, frankly. Because I've been through that, and I know what that feeling feels like. I never want to see anybody go through that, ever. I never want to see somebody go through that. Because if you do just... Like, I know this sounds callous, but if you just wait it out, things will get better. They always do. Like, yes, happiness passes. Every good feeling is temporary, but so is every bad feeling. Eventually, whatever you're going through, no matter how much it sucks, eventually it will end. All things must come to pass. Eventually, you will come to pass yourself, but, like, just wait for it, you know? I mean, you've only got one shot at life, and no matter how much your one shot at life sucks, it's the only one you're gonna get, so you might as well make the most of it. And a worst case scenario, if you choose not to kill yourself, what? But there are no downsides to not killing yourself. Like, yeah, it sucks, but yeah, I mean, you're gonna die anyway, and it won't matter anymore, so you might as well stick it out. That's just crazy to hear, and the fact that being told to off yourself became normalized in this day and age too. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. The fact that the R slur is getting more attention online is one of the many signs that people are getting even meaner. I disagree completely. Because when I was a kid, the R slur was not considered a slur. That was just something that people said. So we're not, it's not that people are getting worse. We're just reverting back to what's normal. And the only reason that the R slur is a slur, and this is completely true, I've researched this, is because these parents, they had a mentally disabled child, and they were embarrassed of her. And people would call her the R slur, because that's just what you called people that had that back then. And yeah, I'm sure there were some people that were being mean to her, but she was so young, and she was so gone, that she had no idea that people were being mean to her until her parents told her that they were being mean to her. And so these parents, rather than, going to therapy or like coming to grow and accept and love their daughter the way that she was, they went on this huge national tantrum on the news saying how bad of a word the R slur was, and made it so that nobody could ever say it again, not even like in government documents, because at the time the R slur was the politically correct term for people who were like that. I think it was dumb that we made that a slur, because I've only ever seen that slur be used to attack people. I don't think it's a real slur. Is obesity a slur now? It better not be. People have tried to make it a slur, but it's not working. The fat acceptance movement is stupid. Like, and I say that as somebody who's fat, like, cause does it really hurt your feelings to be called fat that badly? Like, the fat acceptance movement makes zero sense, because people, like, they all say I love my body and whatnot, but then they'll get so pissy if you call them fat, which they are. Like, do you love your fatness or not? Make up your mind. Obesity does not sound like a slur. I agree. You know what else doesn't sound like a slur to me? The F slur, the one for gay people. I think queer sounds more like a slur than the other one, and I think we should switch them, because the F slur sounds funny, which means that it doesn't hurt my feelings. AJ, do magical materials exist in your AU? I'm sure yes. Queer used to be a slur? It did used to be a slur. I don't know why we took queer back as being not... I don't know why we unslurred queer, but not the other one, because the other one meant a bundle of twigs, and also it sounds like a very funny word. I think we should take that one back. Queer used to mean weird or odd. I think that was the wrong one to take back, fellas. That was the wrong word. You know what else I think shouldn't be a slur? And I'm actually allowed to say this one because I'm Hispanic. Beaner. That's really word. I can't believe it. I'm so upset about that one. How could you get upset being called a beaner? That's the funniest word ever. As a Mexican, beaner is a coded word. It is. Wait, that was a slur? It's a slur. Like, it's not a very bad one, but it is technically considered a slur. Like, people have gotten in trouble online for saying that. I don't care. Honestly, the idea of having a slur for Mexican and Hispanic people in the first place is the dumbest thing ever. Because, in Mexican culture, like, insulting each other or giving each other insulting nicknames is just part of the culture. It's got really good humor over in Mexico. I don't think there's a single word you could call a Mexican that would legitimately make them mad, except for illegal. But that's their own fault. As someone who is tubby as heck, I make my own fatness so that no one can ever dethrone me from roasting myself. That's a good job. That's a good idea. I actually I actually made part of the reason why I made the possum so fat is because I can look at it and I can know I'm not that fat, and it makes me feel better about myself. And I also don't want to like accidentally become one of those artists that makes their character look prettier than they are, because I think that's, well, it's a little bit cringe. It's really not a big deal, and I don't care that much. But even still, I don't want anyone to bully me for how I actually look compared to what my persona looks like. Well, speaking of being fat, I actually finally made it over this this weight loss hump that I had been stuck on for a while. I was stuck on 144 pounds for a really long time, and I finally, just today, I finally lost another pound. I am finally under 144, which means losing the next 5 pounds should be easy for me. I've noticed that, like, when I try to lose weight, I usually lose like 5 pounds, maybe 10 pounds, and then I get stuck for a really long time. And then I have to really push myself hard in order to get over that hump, and then the next 5 pounds will come easy. I look slightly pregnant with skinny arms, goated body type, not gonna lie. If the imps in greed are possums or raccoons, then what are the imps in gluttony? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Okay, finally done with the line art. Thank God. The fairy lights. I don't want to do all those lights. There's so many of them. There's gotta be like a brush or something that I can use to make this go faster. Gluttony could be frogs. That's that's a good idea. I like that, honestly. I'd do them for you if I could. Thank you. I appreciate that. Honestly, making gluttony imps be based off of flies, since Beelzebub is called the king of the flies, or maybe it was Lord of the Flies. It doesn't really matter. I think that would be good. These flies are greedy little things. Oh yes, yes, this is so much easier. Yes, yes. I can't make it end. No! Oh, perfect. Perfection. I'm a genius. Oh, that's the... I meant to erase. I did too much. Ugh. I should have made them bigger. I need to make them bigger. Let's see, how big? Yeah, that's right. This is the one. Oh no. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't know beaner was a slur until one of my besties called me it, and then Duck told them, "Hey, you know that's a slur, right?" Ducky knows so many slurs. She knows every single one of them. It's really quite funny. I should put this above the liner. There we go. Yes. I'm gonna erase this one. Dang, Ducky needs to teach us all of them. Oh, Ducky. I love Ducky. Here's a slur. No, beaner. Bean, E-R at the end. Let me write it out, because I can't spell with my mouth. This one. It's a slur for Hispanic people. But honestly, I think it's so funny, I don't even care. I'm allowed to say it because I'm Hispanic. I really wish I looked Hispanic, but my brother stole all the melanin. He stole all the melanin from what's her face? Hermit too. And then Moose Cat got just a little bit. I'm gonna move you back a little bit. AJ writing slurs on stream was not on my bingo card. It sounds like wiener. It does. Whatever it is, it's funny. It is funny. I like it when the slur is funny. Honestly, because there is a slur for Hispanic people, and I've been called it before. I do not care about when people complain about being called slurs because I just think it's the funniest thing ever. I can't get over how funny it is. So I have a hard time sympathizing with anybody who like gets offended about slurs. I don't think slurs are good or anything. Not gonna lie, the soft N-word be funny as heck to me. It is kind of funny. I feel like the N-word is the only slur that has any, like, sort of merit to it. That's the only slur that feels like it's actually rooted in racism, you know? Why do you have fairy lights here, but not up here? I don't like that. I'm gonna fix that. I'm imagining that your Beelzebub is a wolf and dragonfly hybrid that's ultra thin to a supernatural degree. Honestly, you're reading my mind pretty darn well. Of course, I haven't drawn her yet. I do kind of get a little bit bothered by people who redesign Helluva Boss's Beelzebub and then don't include any of the inspiration sources that Vivzie used when she designed her. That makes sense for an AU, but like for a redesign where we're specifically criticizing the design, I just don't like fixing videos where they completely change everything and don't try to make the original designs work in any sort of way. It really bugs me. It is, but black folks have turned it into a word that refers to people in general, but it's hard to hear anyone else say it since it's usually used in a different context. I agree. I feel like that's also the only time where I feel like the double standard is kind of valid, almost. I still don't like the double standard. I just don't like double standards, like, just in general. I feel like the existence of a double standard for things like that is inherently racist. And, that makes me kind of unhappy. I just feel like slurs should just be treated like regular swearing. Like, I don't think that regular swearing is good. I don't think that slurs are good. But I feel like it's kind of inherently unfair and unequal to not let anyone say them. Either everyone's allowed to say them or no one is, in my opinion. You can't normalize a word and then get mad when other races start using that word, That's my opinion. No, if it gets used by anyone, imagine what Vivzie Pop would write. I think that if Vivzie Pop were not as liberal as she is, I think she would totally be throwing slurs in there. But that's how you know that the edginess isn't real is because she's afraid to do anything actually edgy or against the rules, you know? Just don't use it in a way that is meant to purposely offend someone of a specific group. Like, yeah, of course. And that kind of goes with the territory. You know, don't be racist. I feel like that's generally a good rule for life, is don't be racist. And don't be a bigot. I feel like that's also just generally a good rule for life. And frankly, it's not that hard. Just judge people for the content of their character. Sometimes the content of their character is good. Sometimes they suck. And it is important to accept and acknowledge that fact regardless of what somebody looks like, or who they sleep with, or what they believe in. Printing out my N-word pass cards to give to IRL people for lols. You should sell them, man. You'll make bank. Oh, my eyes. You know, somewhere in a different universe, Vivzy is a conservative and her show is even worse. The idea of that being a universe that exists is incredibly funny to me. A couple sold cardboard tickets to heaven at a KFC and said it was gold. Oh, that's great. That's fine. You know, best thing about drawing over an image that's already been like colored in and shaded and whatnot is I have a lot less work to do. Oh, wrong there. I swear to God, I have a really bad sailor mouth. I have to make myself refrain from using profanity on your server whenever I'm about to type out a swear word. Thank you for abstaining from that. I appreciate it. Now, I grew up in a family where, like, even saying words like shut up or stupid or dumb was considered swearing, almost. So, yeah, I'm pretty strict about the words that I say when I'm in public or around my family. I try not to swear. I think generally keeping your language clean it's classy, you know? It's classy, and I like to be a professional. At least when I can be. For as stupid as I am, I want the one place where I'm not stupid to be, like, the way that I, like, hold myself, you know? We couldn't swear until we were 16. It's a family rule. That makes sense. I'm still not allowed to swear, man. If I were to go home today and go talk to my parents, and if I were to drop a swear word, I would get in trouble. I'm 20 years old. I would still get in trouble if I said a swear word. Oh, I don't like this color. I know it's correct, but I don't like it. What do you think of the theory that sins act the way they do to show off an enticing version of their sin instead of the negative version that would push Hellborn away from the sin? Eh? I don't know. I don't really care that much. I don't really care that much about most Has-Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss theories. And honestly, to be completely clear and completely honest, I'm not that into Hell of a Boss. I'm sorry. I just don't enjoy it. I mean, I used to. I really enjoyed it in season 1, but after season 1 it became the Stolas and Blitz show, and I just don't care about them, man. I don't care about them. What do you think of the idea itself? It seems like it holds water, but I don't really care that much. You know, I think it's okay to write a show that's entirely about romance, or even entirely about romance in like a fictional setting or whatever. Oh, like, write whatever you want. It's fine. It's just this is not the show that I came to watch, you know? And it's really hard to get into the show and enjoy the romance when the romance is written so poorly, because it doesn't really seem like they're like Blitz and Stolas are really written as people. It seems like they're more just written as like concepts of people, which I guess is better than no concept at all, like they did for Millie. But even still, it's just not something that I super enjoy watching. And I wrote a romance fic. You know, it's not even that I hate romance. It's just that there has to be something more of intrigue there for me to actually care. So like an arrangement was made. It is a romance fic. First and foremost, you know, sort of. Like, it's really hard to avoid that because it is an arranged marriage fictional story. But I'm also like I try to like explore their relationship, but like also explore like the implications a little bit. Like there's other stuff to be had there other than just romance. Like making a character's entire personality just about their love life, I find it's so boring. Because that's all Stolas has. All Stolas has is his relationship with Blitz. Everything else about him that could be interesting gets sidelined in favor of that, and it bugs me. And it doesn't intrigue me at all. There's so much intrigue and so much interest and so much plot that could be there if you actually explored the implications of a Goetia dating an imp in any meaningful way. Like, think of the politics, man! The politics! There's so much. There's so much you could do with the politics of this story. And they just don't do any of it. What do you think of a Luna and Octavia friendship arc? I do not care, because I do not care about those characters. I don't. I really don't. Honestly, if I was writing the show, like, and I didn't feel like if I were writing this show from scratch and I didn't feel the need to include every character and try and do them justice just to prove that I can do better, I would cut Luna entirely because she's just not necessary. She doesn't do anything. And she doesn't have anything interesting to do. She's just an angsty teenager that happens to exist within Blitz's proximity. That's all she has. It doesn't seem like she has any kind of character arc, like even in whispers of the imagination to go on. And frankly, I'm at a complete loss of what to actually do with them when I do eventually get around to writing them, and I think it's part of the reason why I've been avoiding it. Is because I don't know what to do with Luna. I have no ideas. I'm sure I'll come up with an idea eventually. I'm sure I will. But at the moment, I just don't have anything. The only idea that I have could potentially be of Blitz and Luna meeting for the first time, but after that, I don't know where to take them. Like, when you make a character, you have to have some sort of journey to go on, otherwise it's pointless to even include them. That's also why I think Visago was a huge waste, because he could have been interesting also, and actually done something important, but the only thing he did was stand around and be gay in Spanish. And that's it. He doesn't have an interesting journey to go on either. Also, what's her face? Stella, also a huge waste, because she doesn't have any journey to go on. She has nothing. Everything that she did have was it was stolen. Everything that she could have been doing was stolen away from her by her stupid brother, who I hate. Because now with him in the way, and him acting as main antagonist, there is nothing for Stella to do except exist. That's it. People overhyped Visago, in my opinion. They really did. He was a waste of time. He was a waste of screen time. He did nothing. I can't believe we spent this big episode. Mastermind should have been a culmination of a season. It should have been used to, like, bring the season to a close. But they spent it introducing new side characters that didn't do anything, that weren't useful, that weren't interesting, and probably won't be going forward. It is a waste of screen time to have done that. Because when you're animating something, you cannot waste screen time, because it is too expensive, it is too time consuming, there are too many constraints, and there's too few episodes to waste time on characters that aren't going to do anything and don't add anything to the plot except merchandising opportunities. We do not have time for that in an animated show. I still deeply enjoy Andrelphus being beat up. I enjoyed that as well. I thought it was funny, but I think it was bad for the story, because I cannot take Andrelphus seriously when he got beat up by Stolas of all people. Like, it was funny, it was satisfying. I think it was I did enjoy myself, but at the end of the day, it does too much damage to the story. It should have been cut. I feel like that's something that Vivzy doesn't fully understand how to do, and it's a very basic principle of writing that every artist should understand, is the concept of kill your darlings. Sometimes in a story you have an idea that you really, really like, you really, really enjoy it, you want to include it so badly, but sometimes you have to get rid of it because it's in the way. And sometimes the first thing you should cut is the scene that you really like. Because sometimes if you cut that thing that you really, really like, sometimes that's what you need in order to make the story better. Like, sometimes that is the exact thing that's getting in your way. Because if you really, really like something, there's a possibility that you might accidentally warp your entire story in a harmful way in order to include this thing that you really, really like. And I've made that mistake myself, because in an arrangement was made, there was a scene where I had Charlie kiss Adam's forehead and I had him freak out about it because I thought it was funny. But I wish now that I could go back and write that out, because it was worthless, it was out of character, and it broke far too many things for me to have included it. I never should have written it in. And the reason that I did that is because I liked it, I thought it was funny, I wanted to include it, but because I did that and I didn't sacrifice that part that I wanted, my story suffered for it. And I'm planning on cutting that scene out of I'm planning on either cutting that scene out or re-editing it when I do the spoken version, the audio version, because it's just a terrible scene, man. I love it, but it doesn't fit here. It should have been cut. I really regret that. I don't like being a fan of her work and being a part of the fandom. I would leave, but I'm way too interested in the plot. I feel the same way. I do not enjoy Hell of the Boss, but I feel like I'm too deep in to not keep seeing where it's going. But something needs to change quick because I'm getting real sick of this. I feel like I'm just watching as a hater now. What if you gave Luna an arc about building friendships and getting less lonely in an episode set in a time frame of unhappy campers where Luna gets a whole week to herself while everyone else is busy with their stuff? Honestly, Unhappy Campers might have been seriously improved if it had been an episode with Millie and Luna instead of Millie and Moxie. I'm not in the fandom. Buddy, I'm gonna give you a bit of a wake-up call. You're in my fandom, which technically is part of the Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss fandom, whether you like it or not. That episode made me hate Moxie. Honestly, I don't think that episode was as bad as people say it is. I think the main issue with Unhappy Campers was that it was just placed in the wrong season. I think if that episode had been in the first season, it would have made more sense and would have been better because it wouldn't feel so much like Moxie is backsliding. We should have had Unhappy Campers be in season 1, and that way when I think Unhappy Campers didn't Unhappy Campers come after Moxie confronted his dad? Because I'm pretty sure that's how the episodes were released. And I could be wrong, and I don't feel like checking. Let me know if I'm wrong. But if that is true, that's the dumbest thing ever. Because Moxie's confrontation with his dad, it should have been like the final part of his character arc where he really learns how to stand up for himself. That would have been absolutely beautiful. And also, they took that moment away from him by just having him be knocked out after confronting his dad. That was stupid. This was also, like, not funny. I think that that episode also suffered from Vivzi's traumatized syndrome, where like the character, like the part where Moxie goes, "I'm bisexual." Oh my goodness gracious, that was the most cringe thing I've ever heard, ever. That was horrid. That didn't sound like Moxie and Moxie's dad talking. That sounded like Vivzie Pop and her dad talking. Something you also generally don't want to do is you don't want to accidentally put yourself in a position where you've written about your own trauma instead of your characters. Like, I get it. Sometimes real life discussions that you've actually had with people you actually know can be helpful, but like, oh my goodness. It's just so cringy. It is the most cringe thing ever. I'm bisexual, shut up. Like, who cares whether your dad, who's maybe a little out of touch, calls you gay or bisexual? It does not matter. At least he's trying. It's more than my parents did. I don't blame my parents. My parents don't super love that I'm gay. It's a religious thing. I don't care. They still love me. Like, that's all I need from my parents is I need them to love me, and that's it. I feel like there's a lot of gay people that don't recognize or realize or are grateful for just how good they have it with their own parents. Like, if your parent doesn't hate you, for being gay, that is a lot better than most gay people have had throughout centuries of human history. How could you not be grateful for that? My mom is gay, so I had the easiest time coming out. You know, I never told my parents that I had a girlfriend. Ever. I have still never to this day ever told them that I ever dated a girl ever. Well, I probably won't. And not until I am fully independent, because I have this irrational fear that they're gonna cut me off. I don't think they actually would, to be clear. I think I am being completely paranoid about that. But even still, like, I'm embarrassed, man. I'm embarrassed that I ever did that. I don't want them to know. Not yet. And you know, it's been such a long time that I've kept it hidden that I did that. That when I eventually do tell them that that was something that I did, like, even though I'm very against doing that now, like, at least for myself, I would never like put that responsibility on anyone else. It's gonna be a really awkward conversation. I feel like I feel like they're gonna feel very betrayed that I never confided that in them. And I think that's gonna really hurt their feelings, and I don't want to do that to them because it's not their fault. You know, it's not their fault that I was too scared to tell them. They didn't do anything wrong. My parents have been lovely to me. I don't want them to feel hurt because I didn't feel because I didn't want to tell them. And now it's been such a long time. It's been years since I did that. That I would, oh, it's gonna hurt their feelings so much. I feel really bad about it. I think my mom's gonna cry when I tell her. Hermit, if you're still in the stream, don't tell them. My siblings know. I never told my mom. I never told my dad. If I tell my siblings, what are they gonna do about it, realistically? Like, I don't think my siblings would like it either, but, like, they can't do anything about it. Oh, I have to render the other one. I want you to write Luna doing stuff outside the office because we never see her get to be a receptionist and can't go on missions until now. I mean, I get that. I am not planning on doing a full Hell of a Boss rewrite like I've done with BBFFB. I haven't fully taken it off the table as something to maybe do in the future when I'm done with an arrangement was made. But, you know, I'd prefer to leave it behind, you know? I would like to have, like, concepts and ideas, but I don't want to actually do a full rewrite of it. It just takes so much time and so much energy. I'm just not passionate about it enough, at least not at this time, to actually commit to that. And, you know, there are other things that I'd like to do. I have my own story that I would love to write. It's called Aftershock, and I've had this idea for this story sitting around for a very long time. I used to work on it with other people, but you know, they all like they had their lives, they moved on. So now I'm the only one left, and I spent years working on this story, and I want to make it real. It does need like a full rewrite and retune and everything, but I want to do that. I don't want to do Hell of a Boss. I want to do that. I want to make my own original things. I want to be my own person. At least we have Cletus. I do still plan on doing full redesigns of everyone with rewrites, but I don't want to like make a story, you know? Because with BBFFB, I've got like full voice actors and everything. I've got the outline in production. I've got part of the first episode like fully written and ready to go. It does need like some edits though because I hadn't built the bed and breakfast yet before writing that, so I do need to like change like some descriptions of the scenery and whatnot. I don't want to do that for Hell of a Boss. It's just too much work. I just want to see the redesigns of the Sins. I do plan on making those. The Sins are the only designs that like I really want to do. Because I love the Sins. The Sins are the best part of Hell of a Boss. The Sins make me happy. And besides that, I will actually need the Sins, maybe, probably, in a few places in the bed and breakfast for former baddies. For at the very least, for like Christmas special episodes or something. My only headcanon is that Belphegor is the nicest Sin compared to the others. Probably yes. Mastermind be a BBFFB episode 3? No. Mastermind was one of the worst episodes that Hell of a Boss has ever had. Ever. That was the worst episode out of all of them. The second worst episode of Hell of a Boss was Sinsmas. That episode sucked. Would Sinsmas be a celebration of the sins? Yes, it would be a day of worship. It's fine, just means more free reign to characterize Cletus. I'm glad you guys like Cletus. I like Cletus too. Cletus makes me happy. And looking at his kids being like, lol, I had more than one of you. Real. I love Bean, but at the same time I hate him. And eventually you guys will all find out why I hate him so much. The voice actors will find out sooner rather than later because they get to see all the writing. Cletus took Moxie's spot in my favorite list. Aw, thank you. I'm planning an outline of a story with my OCs currently. The problem is I have a concept and an ending to each arc in the mind, but the middle parts are the hardest to come up with. Yeah, exactly. The hardest part of a story is the middle. It's the easiest part to mess up. Oh boy, I can't wait to see the bean lore drops. I was in a shot 57 times. How do you feel if I make Clea's ship art? I just want to make sure you're cool with it. I don't mind. I think that people should be allowed to just have fun. I think the idea of people having boundaries about their characters is a little silly. I mean, obviously you want to be credited for your work and your characters and whatnot, but I think there are some people that take it a little too far. Like, the idea that you're not allowed to ship other people's characters with your own characters or whatnot, I think is stupid. Like, who cares? Just let people have fun. Oh boy, I sure am getting hungry. I've got spaghetti waiting for me in the fridge. I'm excited for my spaghetti. What if the Bean Lord comes out and he becomes my favorite? He will not. He will not! Oh, he will not. He will not be your favorite. Oh man. You know what? Oh man, when season 3 comes out and everyone else gets to find out about the Bean lore drop, I'm gonna feel so bad for everyone who got attached to him. Oh, I just feel horrible. I feel so guilty already. I haven't even written it. I love villains, but it's bad when the villains are more interesting to me than the main characters. Yeah, I think something about writing BBFFB that's been hard for me is that you know, none of the main cast are my favorite characters. My favorite characters are Adam and honestly Lucifer and Eve. I love all of those ones a lot more than I love my main cast, which does make it fairly hard to write. But I think my hope is that I will write them well, and because they are not my favorite characters, I think I will do a lot more work to write them well because I don't care about them already. So I have to do more work to make them interesting, which will be, I think, ultimately better for the story. I actually do have an idea for Fizzarelli, actually. I'm not going to share it because that might be too much spoilers for a video I do eventually plan to make. But I have an idea of at least what he would look like. I just don't have an idea for his story yet. It's just too many dang characters in Hell of a Boss. That's what the really hard part about making any kind of Hell of a Boss video, is that there are so many characters, and all of them have to intertwine, otherwise they are a waste of space and time and screen time and all that jazz. So that's what makes it so hard and why I'm procrastinating so much. It's just there's so much to do, so little time to do all of it. Man, it's just a lot. Hell of a Boss is a beast of a show. And frankly, Vizzy should have never written it. I'm gonna be honest. That Hell of a Boss should have stayed as an AO3 fic. Being gonna be more evil than AM and Judge Holden mixed together. I don't know who Judge Holden is, but I'm sure that's a bad thing. Why is my throat so full of mucus? It's so full of mucus and pus. I don't know what I'm gonna do with Osmodius either. I have no clue for what he's gonna look like. And honestly, making the embodiment of lust without making him absolutely, completely, horribly evil, I don't know how that's gonna be done. Because, you know, lust is a bad thing. Lust is different from, like, attraction, or even just physical attraction. Lust is another step forward. And I don't know how you can have lust a sin without including lust for things that is, you know, illegal. I don't know how you could possibly write Asmodeus in any way other than a complete sexual deviant. Lust is the tempter. Lust is the temptation. Pride is the justification. Yes. Oh, I didn't put it. Oh, yeah. But the thing is, I'm getting. I don't want to rate another rapist. I don't want to do that. Like, after a while of writing so many terrible people, eventually you get kind of sick of it. And I want to make Asmodeus a bad guy. And I want him to be in character as biblically accurate as I can make him. But I also just don't want to write another complete sexual deviant. My Asmodeus is gender fluid. Yay! You can make Asmodeus manipulative? I'm sure I can. My current idea for Asmodeus is that, like, I would make his relationship with Fizaroli appear healthy like it does in the original show, but it's really not. And after Mastermind, you would figure out, oh, Asmodeus doesn't actually care about him because he did nothing to try and stop Blitz's execution. But and I don't want to write it again. I've just had enough, I've got an arrangement was made. I've got the bed and breakfast for former baddies. I do not want to do any more work with hell. I'm just sick of writing every single person to be terrible. I miss nice people. I want to write Aftershock. So I don't have any sexual deviance in Aftershock. Because Aftershock is completely different from everything else I've written. Aftershock it's an epic. It's written as an epic. Like a Tolkien epic. I mean, not exactly like a Tolkien epic. I would never delude myself into thinking I can write something on the level of Tolkien of all people. But something more like that, It's just a completely different vibe from Hazbin Hotel and Hell of Us. Are the Egg Boys terrible? Dude, they went to hell. Of course they are. They used to blow up frogs for fun. If there's a child in hell, you can pretty much guess that they were probably torturing small animals. They killed cute frogs? Yeah, they wanted to blow stuff up. Not all of them did that. Not all of the Egg Boys did that. But Frank did. Frank did that. And his dad was never around to, like, teach him right from wrong, so he just did whatever he felt like doing, and part of what he felt like doing was blowing up frogs. I feel a little strange about writing a story about animal abusers that got better. Because I think animal abusers need to be locked up for a long time. But I guess they kind of did do that. I mean, it's hell. Everyone's locked up down there. So Frank is the most evil one out of the eggs. He is, yes. Yes. If Snackboy is mischievous, Frank is bad. He's like the bad version, the worst version of Snackboy. I mean, Snackboy Snackboy is there because he's the protector, right? So if ever they feel like they're in danger, he will come out to, like, protect them from anything they might consider a threat, right? Like that's his job is to be a little abrasive and be a little bit more quick to violence in order to keep them safe, stuff like that. Also, just generally to be more rude. Frank is like that, but for like casual settings, you know. So like he's the curious one. He's the one that likes to get up to mischief. He likes to pull pranks, that kind of thing. Honestly, the characters that I think I'm most excited to write are either characters that have very little presence in Hazbin Hotel, so I have a lot of freedom to do whatever I want with them, or like full-on OCs like Trent is. I'm very excited for Trent. I love Trent! And I hope that I can make all of you love Trent too, because he's a silly little man and I like him. I haven't been able to find a voice actor for him, unfortunately, so I did actually ask Egg on Your Leg yesterday. Not yesterday, it was today, but just like really early in the morning, if he would be interested in playing Trent, and I hope he says yes, because he's such a talented voice actor. But I haven't gotten a response. Egg on Your Leg is pretty slow to respond to pretty much anything, and you know what, that's fine. It's totally fine, I don't have a problem with that. I get it. We already like Trent. Yeah, the voice actors know that we love Trent. I saw a dude that looked like Trent yesterday, except like if he had his life put together. Yeah, me and Harpia were we were talking. I forget whether it was yesterday or today because my understanding of time is so messed up right now. But we were talking a little bit about him and his lore and whatnot. I feel kind of a little strange about some of the changes that I've made to Trent, at least in terms of some of the changes I have made to his lore. So like Harpia originally wrote him to have like an abusive mother. I've decided to take that out entirely, and I feel a little weird about doing that because you know he did originally start as her character and also as Nova's character. But you know I just don't think it serves the story. And I feel bad. I feel bad for rejecting people's ideas. I'm already sad he only appears in flashbacks. Spoilers! I'm teasing, I'm not mad. I feel like anybody could have figured out that he only appears in flashbacks, you know, because he's dead. And considering he's dead. I mean, you guys didn't think I would bring him back, did you? If I came in early, my submission would have been a crazy chick who has a melting acid bunny. Yeah, well, unfortunately, part of the requirement that would have been rejected because one of the requirements was that he was supposed to be male. And I wish that I would have had like more clearly defined rules for the character submission contest, like when I was still holding it. But unfortunately I didn't because at the time I hadn't fully solidified my idea. I always imagined Trent's death to the end of 600 Strike. Oh man. Oh, want to tell things. I want to say things, but I can't because it's spoilers. It's 7:30? What the heck happened? It's 7:30 and this is where I'm at? I mean, I guess I'm already doing the shading at the same time, so it's maybe not that bad. But at the same time, oh, why is this taking so long? If Trent bites me, does that make me gay? He's got rainbow teeth. Imagine if he could spread gayness by biting people like rabies. That would be funny. Imagine if the way that he keeps himself straight is by infecting other people with the gay. So long as he keeps making other people gay, he gets to remain straight. How old Christians think gay people came to exist. I've got a funny idea between Baggy and Trent. I will make this later. Please do. I enjoy it whenever Trent gets appreciation. He deserves it. It will be easier to mark out the purple curtains first. Me when I draw gay characters, as long as I make them gay, I'll be straight. It's great. I love you guys. Y'all are funny. You're funny, silly little doodads. Oh boy. I'm gonna struggle to draw a line again. Oh, I did it. Oh. There we go. Also, by the way, we don't mind helping write or anything. We love making bad people suffer and then atone. Thank you for the offer. I've been thinking about hiring on another writer, but I also don't want to do that because that means I have to give up more of my money. And you know, I would like to keep my money. And also, I don't fully trust anyone to be able to keep the characters as in character as I can. But at the same time, a writing assistant would be really nice. I was actually thinking of asking Duck to help me write. But she's also never written anything before. I mean, she's like written out ideas and stuff, but when it actually comes down to like actually writing stuff, she does have a bit of a hard time, like self-proclaimed. But I would like to ask her for her help, just to like help me speed up at least the process of writing an outline. Because for me, writing the outline is the hardest part. Everything else is easy. Once the outline is done, everything else is easy. Is Duck mad at you earlier for yesterday? No. Thank goodness, not a lot of people actually saw her real name. I feel so bad for that. I'm such an idiot. I'm usually so careful. But that time, I guess it just slipped my mind. I was just so excited. Is what I sent yesterday, in the Discord was, Duck actually found in our message history where I originally proposed the idea of an arrangement was made, and I was like, oh, this is so cool, I want to share this with everyone. And I took a screenshot of it, but what I didn't realize, I took the screenshot on my phone, right? I usually take screenshots on my computer, and when I'm on my computer, like, I can easily, like, crop things out. It crops things out as I'm taking the screenshot. So I accidentally flashed her, and so her full name was at the top of the message box. So I accidentally showed that to everyone on accident. But thankfully, it didn't seem like too many people actually saw it. I feel like it probably would have gotten pointed out a lot earlier if more people had seen it. Just too bad because, you know, the messages were really good. Goodness, why does drawing have to take so long? We've been sitting here forever! Oh, did you send that to the main Possum server? I did. I did send that to the main Possum server. I'm so stupid. Nobody ever trusts me with your full name ever. I'm an idiot with loose lips. I can't keep secrets very well. Idea that I had for Lucy Purgatory Resort is that he cares about Charlie, but it's in the sense that he treats her more like a pet or a young child rather than a semi-functioning adult. As a result, he's dismissive of her belief that not all sinners are anything other than garbage, and he openly doesn't approve of her redemption program due to that and his own biases against sinners. You know, that sounds a lot more like what was supposed to happen with Hazbin Hotel and then didn't. How will I get merch if I don't dox myself to you? Okay, that is the one time that you can trust me because on the financial statements, when I record the event of who's getting the merch, I only put the first name. And then to like, if there are different people with the same first name that buy merch, I will put their order name next to it, like what products they actually purchased. Speaking of which, the Valentine's merch drop did end today. It is no longer available unless you give me $5 on Ko-fi. AJ, you did somewhat saying my real name wrong in a video. I'm sorry, man. I apologize. You should have given me a different name. Like, I came to you to, like, ask you what you wanted me to call you or, like, what social media you wanted me to credit, and you gave me your first name. And I'm sorry if I said it wrong, but I'm dumb. I'm dumb. What do you want from me? I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Hello, AJ. Hello. Welcome to the stream. I might need to end stream and finish this off camera because man am I getting tired, and also it's getting dark. But I need to finish this and I want to finish it today. How long has this stream been? It's been so long. It's been 2.5 hours of this crap. How are you still here? How are there still 14 of you here? This stream cannot be this entertaining. There's just no way. I don't believe you. I'm on a walking on board based. AJ, please tell Quinn not to stop killing Muffin. Nah, I find it entertaining. Muffin's just gonna have to get better at not being killed. Have you ever considered that maybe it's Muffin's fault? Oh man. I like saying stupid things sometimes. You know, since the out of context video did perform so poorly, I've actually been thinking about cutting it up into small little bits and then posting it on TikTok and also on YouTube Shorts to try and get it a little bit more attention. Because that's actually part of how Queso started getting big, is by posting his clips to TikTok. I want to do that. Unfortunately, I can't stream to every platform that I wish I could stream to, because you actually have to pay for that. You have to pay in order to use stream to more than one platform to dual stream. And I don't have any money. And I don't, as far as I know, I haven't made a singular cent off of my streams yet. Honestly, what I should do is I should set the ads to be more. I should play more ads on my streams. I don't know if any of you have actually even gotten any ads. As far as I know, I haven't seen anyone complain about it. I think I probably I might need to play more ads on the streams in order to make any money. I haven't gotten any ads. Great. Glad to know that I set them up wrong. Keep it that way, no ads. But, well, you know, I would love to, except that I would like to make money on these stupid live streams. I would really like to. I'm saying goodbye to a lot of money by choosing not to play ads, or at least not as many ads as I could. If I start getting donations regularly, I'll turn them off. But I don't know if you guys even can donate. Actually, there is actually a way to avoid watching the ads but still watch the streams. So what I do when I'm watching Queso and I suddenly get hit by 3 minutes of ads, is there's actually a way to like put on the mini player in such a way that you mute the original ad and can keep watching. I mean, it's definitely annoying, but it's better than nothing. I tried. Okay, so great. Glad to know that it's not possible. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is the wrong layer. Your voice is pleasant. Thank you. I enjoy running my mouth even if my opinion conflicts with yours. Thank you. I think the world is a better place when people can have different opinions and then still get along. I think that's what we need. That's what we need more of. You know, I like hearing different opinions. Life's more interesting when there are other opinions. I think it's really weird if a lot of people have the exact same opinion without any kinds of differences. And I don't trust people who repeat talking points from each other. I think it's weird. Feels almost cultish to me. As long as they don't make fun of me for my opinion, I'm fine with it. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Honestly, I think a little bit of light ribbing of other people's opinions it's fine. But there's a difference between, you know, making fun of somebody's opinion and teasing them for it and straight up bullying them for it or harassing them or all manner of mean things you can do to somebody just because they think differently. You know, make fun of the opinion, not the person, you know? The name of the server is the Opossum Cult, after all. I mean, it is. But I don't like cults. I think cults are bad. Hot take there. And I say this as somebody who comes from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, very frequently called a cult, a religion that's very frequently called a cult, but it really is not. I think the most major tell of a cult is whether or not you're encouraged or even allowed to think for yourself. So like I don't think I would ever consider my religion a cult. Like, and not just because I'm in it, but also because my entire life I've been encouraged to think for myself and seek out my own answers. I just haven't been encouraged to seek them out from the internet specifically. Because there are some people that you just should not go to for opinions about religion. So like there's a lot of ex-members on the internet who are very loud and very mean. And going to an ex-member of the church to like learn about the church, that would be like going to somebody's ex-wife to find out the content of their character. That's stupid. Of course they're going to tell you all kinds of terrible things because they hate the church. They don't. There are some ex-members who don't hate the church, but people leave religions for reasons, Sometimes people just have bad experiences. It happens. I get worried about watching criticism for stuff I like, since there's always a chance that the person is going to call you wrong, dumb, or a bad person for thinking it's good. Yeah, I get that. I'm sure that I have accidentally done that myself. Like, at least not personally. I usually don't talk about things that I like fully and totally hate, because I don't want to invite that energy into my life. Like I remember with the when I made my video about where I was critiquing Hazbin Hotel's colors, like just the colors in depth, I got a lot of people like hating in my comments, hating on the show and hating the show, or like hating me for criticizing the show because they thought I was a hater. I just don't like that. I don't like that energy from either side. I don't want to accidentally surround myself with a community that hates Hazbin Hotel, not just because I like the show, but just because I don't want that energy. I like Hazbin Hotel. I really like Hazbin Hotel. Like, for as much as I criticize it, I love the show. I really do. I think that's probably another reason why I haven't tackled Hello Boss, is because I don't love that show. I don't hate the show, but I don't love it. And I don't want to talk about things that I don't love, if I can avoid it. Is another reason why I haven't made another video on Digital Circus since my very first one ever, back when I was bad at YouTube. Because I do like Digital Circus, but I don't love it. I'm not obsessed with it. I think it's a very well-written show, and I do very much enjoy it. It's just not something that I'm obsessed with, I want to say I hate Hazbin Hotel, but I'd go to hell for lying. Like I said, I'm in an abusive relationship with both shows, and we're all equally abusive to each other. Yes. I think we're gonna go until 8 o'clock, and then I'm gonna dip out so I can eat something, and then I'll finish the rest of this off camera. I sold my soul to Hazbin in anime, so I'm stuck. I'm using the wrong brush. I'm using the wrong brush. I don't hate things without caring about them first. Yes. So the thing about hatred is always an emotion that comes from love. right? I mean, I know that sounds kind of weird, but that is exactly where it comes from. So if people that hate things, they hate them either because they feel either they used to love them or they feel like they're a threat to something they currently love. So that's why people hate things. So the biggest haters for things are going to be people who probably used to be fans. So, like, the biggest haters of current Star Wars were once fans of old Star Wars, and now something they love has turned into something that they hate because it sucks. Fans will always be the biggest haters of whatever you do, and people that are fans of Hazbin Hotel will hate creators and critics because they feel like they're a threat to this show that they love. And you know, I can see where they're coming from. I don't particularly, I actually don't watch very many critique videos of Hazbin Hotel because I like the show, and you know, I don't want to be mad about it. I don't like seeing people rip it to shreds um, without like the criticism being earned and deserved. I don't like it when people hate on the show just because Vivzie sucks. I frankly I don't know too much about Vivzie's drama, but I know that she's a very unlikable person, and I'm sure she's done something wrong. I really don't like how she treats sexual assault so frequently as just like this silly little joke, this quirky little thing. It's really annoying and frankly kind of disturbing. And you know, she seems like somebody who she never grew up. You know. She still acts like a teenager, so I would not be shocked if something like actually really messed up happened to her when she was a teenager, because sometimes with what happens with trauma is that sometimes something traumatic will happen to you when you were a kid, and then you'll just stay at that mentality forever until you actually work through it. And you know, Vivzie, she's 30 years old at least by now, and she still acts like a teenager. She has never actually dealt with her trauma. She's complained about it a lot through her writing, but she's never actually dealt with it, and it's very obvious. And I feel bad for her. I really do, but at some point you do have to like stop giving people your sympathy, you know? You're 30 years old. Just go to therapy. Immature adults can either be fun or ridiculously annoying. Well, there's two different types of maturity. There's maturity in the sense of like there's immaturity in the sense like you tell like childish stupid little jokes, or you laugh about stupid stuff. That's totally fine. It's immaturity becomes a whole different beast when you become like emotionally immature about like serious things, you know? Adults are just kids with more responsibilities. I'm not surprised. No, there's a big difference between adults and children. There's a very big difference. Like there are gonna be some things that like kind of never go away from you. Like you still have a personality when you're a child, and that personality is gonna stick with you when you're an adult. But the idea that adults are just kids with more responsibilities is not true, because adults they think very differently from children. Like our brains are more developed, they're bigger, they have more bits to it, you know. um so like it a teenager's brain, they have uncontrollable hormones, and they don't have a they have they have like the pituitary gland, right? That's where hormones come from. And that part of your brain when you're a teenager, it expands, it grows larger, but you haven't yet grown the inhibitors that make the chemicals that go through your brain that keep them stable, that keep you from releasing too much. So teenagers compared to adults are quite literally insane. Like dictionary definition. Um so that is why we expect different things of adults and children, and adults and teenagers, I mean, because adults do have the part of their brain that inhibits the hormones, and they do have more experience and they have more of an ability to plan ahead for the future. That is why we treat them differently, because even though they're teenagers and adults can be just as emotionally mature with as each other, there's always going to be a difference because our brains are just different. I understand developmental differences, but many adults have been acting more like children. Well, that's more of a problem with the way that they were raised and this inability, um, this desire to never change ever. I think a lot of adults my age and a little bit older, like between my age and 30, like millennials, young millennials, Gen Xers, and I think I'm Gen Z, aren't I? Young millennials, Gen Xers, and older Gen Zs. We all it's we're at the area in the generation, well, the generations where we just weren't we a lot of us were very coddled. Yeah, I think I was coddled too. I just don't think I was coddled quite as much as other people. But we were very coddled. We were kept away from anything. Like we were the generation of like participation trophies and whatnot. So a lot of us, because of the way that we were raised, didn't learn to how to deal with differing opinions or failure and a lot of other stuff that you really ought to learn in order to be a fully functioning adult, because we were so sheltered and protected. Now, I think I was very lucky to have parents that cared enough about me in order to actually punish me for bad behavior, and who were willing to let me lose. I was very lucky, but a lot of people had parents that were like had bad parents that didn't didn't like they had parents that were too strict or too much and too overbearing and or like too neglectful or all kinds of stuff. And usually you take that if you had a bad experience with your parents and your parents didn't do a very good job of actually raising you, it's very common for when those people have kids to go the exact opposite direction. So if you got too much tough love as a child, you might grow up and be too relaxed with your child, which will raise you a jerk. So it's this really vicious cycle of um of like helicopter parents versus neglectful parents. You like because helicopter parents beget neglectful parents and neglectful parents beget helicopter parents. It's this really vicious cycle and it really sucks. I still am, but they don't really treat me in any way for me to be this way. I'm just very scared of defying people in charge. Yeah, there's the other thing of just mental illness. You know, sometimes that just happens and it really sucks. You know, you can't chalk up a person's weirdness entirely to their parents. That would be just stupid. There's so many things that can affect the way that a person grows and develops into the person that they are today. I think for me, I probably didn't get enough socialization when I was a child. My mom was disabled, so she couldn't really take me to places. And after elementary school, we moved to Ohio temporarily, actually. And we lived in this house that was not in a neighborhood. We were the only house next to like almost a highway, like not an actual highway, but it was a very busy road. So I didn't have any ability to go see friends again because my mom couldn't take me and I couldn't walk there anymore. So I couldn't. Hanging out with anyone was incredibly difficult. And I think that was bad for me. And I don't blame my parents at all. It's not their fault that that happened. Yeah, sometimes bad stuff just happens, you know. But I know for me that when I would love to live in a place completely isolated for the world and alone in the woods, but I think when I have children, I would like to live in a neighborhood so that my children can actually have friends that they can go play with whenever they want to. I think it's important. Maybe I dare I say vital for children to live in neighborhoods with other children. You know, I just didn't have that, and it's become really difficult for me to make in-person friends because of it. But also, I've had really bad experiences with people in person. The first in-person friend that I made here where I live now, um, she was a psycho. She was fully psycho. And I didn't realize that at first because, you know, like sometimes you just don't recognize red flags immediately because they just seem like you know, she has autism, so there were a few red flags that I noticed that I was like, she probably doesn't realize. I regret that entirely. I'm certain she actually has autism, but I think more than autism, I think she was just a narcissist. She was not a good friend to me, and frankly she traumatized me because we got into a very minor disagreement about politics. She was and actually I don't mind, I'm just gonna say what happened. So she was bashing conservatives really badly. She was telling me about how she had gone to the mall and she went into this conservative shop, and in this shop she found this shirt that that said grab her by the pussy and she was telling me she was saying like that's what they actually believe, like not realizing that that's a joke and that conservatives sometimes make jokes. And you know, I grew up in a very conservative area. My parents are very conservative, most of my siblings are conservative, so I really don't like it when people bash conservatives and act like every conservative ever to live ever is bad and evil. I just don't like that. So as a joke, I told her I voted for Trump. I did not vote for Trump. I voted for a third party. And she got so mad at me. Like I was hoping that by telling her that, like she would take like a step back and think, "Oh, like maybe not all conservatives are evil because this one is my friend and also she's gay and weird and whatnot. Maybe conservatives are just regular people." Like, what a revolutionary thought. I thought that was what was going to happen, but she got so mad at me that she abandoned me in the street and refused to ever talk to me ever again ever. I didn't even get a chance to explain, "Hey, no, I was making a joke to make a point." And you know, it hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings so badly that I have never made another in-person friend ever. And in fact, it hurt my feelings so badly that at the time I almost forgot that I didn't vote for Trump because my feelings hurt so bad. Anyway, so yeah, that sucked. I can't even believe she didn't take the time to even just try and disagree with me. She just labeled me a lost cause from there and was gone. And she knew I was she knew that I was gay. She knew that. Like if you think that voting for Trump is so wrong, and one of your fellow gay friends tells you that they voted for Trump, why on earth would you ever not take the time to explain to them why you think they're wrong? Like, why would you ever not try to save them from the indoctrination that you think that they're stuck in? It's it so unequivocally evil to just label people as lost causes and completely evil just because they may not understand something that you do. And to this day, I still don't understand why she hates me so much. I really, I don't think I've ever seen anyone tell me, like, with actual proof why Trump is so evil. And to be clear, I don't particularly like Trump. I don't, I don't have any strong opinions about him, but I just haven't seen any actual evidence for him being supposedly sexist or racist or misogynistic or homophobic. I haven't seen actual proof of that. I've just seen people be angry about him. I've heard a lot of people say those things, but I haven't seen for myself actual evidence to back that up, and I would love to. I would love to be proven wrong. I don't want to be voting for somebody who's racist and misogynistic and homophobic. I want to vote for a good man. I want to vote for a good president. But so long as that party, as the party of Donald Trump haters, chooses not to actually explain themselves, no progress can be made. Honestly, I really don't trust people when they just call people racist and misogynistic and transphobic and all that kind of stuff without actual proof, because so far a lot of the things that like, did you guys see, like, the clips from earlier when Donald Trump, there was this little black kid that had brain cancer that he had very courageously survived, and he for like, I think it was a day, I don't know how long it was, but he made him an honorary, like, SWAT team member or something like that because he really wanted to be a police officer. And not a single Democratic person in the room stood up and clapped. Not a single one. How evil is that? This kid had brain cancer, and he was being honored by Donald Trump, the President of the United States, and not a single person on the left in that room had the balls to just be happy for this poor kid who was being honored that day. How am I supposed to honestly believe those people when they tell me that Donald Trump is evil when they behave like that? Because, I'm liberal. I'm very liberal. I've always been liberal. I was born liberal. I've always been in favor of a lot of very liberal ideas. But man, I just can't with Democrats now because that's so rude. And not only did no one in that room clap, the news outlets that lean left were making fun of that poor kid and criticizing him for that. Like there was this horribly evil lady on, I forget which news outlet it was, but she said something about, like, and I hope this poor kid won't turn out like the security officers at the White House on January 6th who killed themselves. Horribly evil thing to say about this kid with brain cancer. I do not believe a single, like, I really thought for the longest time that Donald Trump was exaggerating when he said that he could cure cancer and the left would still find a way to hate him. And man, he was right. I thought Trump was convicted of sexual assault and paying the woman off to keep her silent. So I actually don't know quite that much about that situation. He was not convicted. It was Well, actually, I'm not fully caught up on all the details of that situation, but I do know a little bit about it. He was not convicted of that. That was a civil trial, and in a civil trial, the burden of proof is not nearly as large as like a criminal trial, which is why he was tried civilly and not criminally, right? Because it's easier. Because it had been years since that time, so of course it's going to be hard to prove things. But from my understanding, what happened was Donald Trump and this lady walked into like some kind of clothing store, and then he supposedly allegedly assaulted her in the dressing room, right? But I hate to say this, I don't believe that, because at the time, Donald Trump was one of the richest and one of the most famous men in America, and I don't believe that he would have walked into a clothes shop with a woman and no one would have noticed. I do not believe that one of the most famous people at the time could have walked into a clothes shop and no one noticed. I don't believe that. And maybe there's other proof that I don't know of, but for now that's my opinion. I tend to take just about any essay accusation against a public figure with a heap of salt. I agree. Because there's this statistic that only like 1% of all sexual assault accusations are false, but that number I believe is very skewed because that number only applies to cases that actually make it to court, and the large majority of accusations that happen at least nowadays do not actually ever make it to court. They only make it to the court of public opinion. So I tend to just like on principle disbelieve most sexual assault accusations against public figures unless they have like actual proof attached to them. Or unless they actually take it to court. Because if you are actually willing to take an accusation like that to court, then I will believe you. Because then I feel like you actually do think that that happened, and you are willing to prove it in a court of law. But if you're not willing to do that, I don't believe you. And it hurts me. I wish I lived in a world where I could believe people when they accused people like that. But we don't. We live in a world where that is now incentivized because you can get a lot of clout off of it. Or you can take down somebody that you hate forever with very little proof. Unfortunately, we live in a world of liars. Of thieves, and cheats, and racists, and rapists, and it sucks. But that's just the world we live in, so I do not believe anybody about anything without actual proof, and I will never do that ever again. Sexual assault is always the first accusation to be used against someone, and I'm tired of seeing it since most of the time it's just said because they don't like someone. Yeah. There's also a lot of people that like almost seem like they want to be assaulted. Like not actually, but they want to be able to claim that. Like have you seen like the people online that will claim that they were raped by a chatbot? Like that happens all the time. And it seems like in the urge to like believe all women and always put all of the blame onto the actual perpetrator, which I do believe is correct. I feel like people have forgotten a little bit that you are the only person that is responsible for your own safety. Like you can't go to a bar and get as a woman. You cannot go to the bar and get blackout drunk and expect everything to be okay. You know, at some point, you do have to take some responsibility for your own safety. That is why it is a normal human emotion to feel guilty for something bad that happened to you. And of course, you should never. I don't want to blame anyone for something horrible that happens to them, but at the same time, you have to practice safe You have to practice safety, because in this world, the only person you can depend on is yourself. You cannot expect anyone else to be responsible for your own safety. It has to be you. And I want people to love themselves and I want people to love themselves enough and, be smart enough to protect themselves. I hate using SA for the word because that's what we use for shortening the names in South America here. I'm so sorry. Honestly, I don't fully get why we do that. I mean, I know that I know that there are some platforms that will like make it will you're not gonna get demonetized for it. It's just that if you shorten it to SA, your video will get pushed to more people. Dyslexic AJ, shut up! I thought you were being dyslexic. Anyway, I don't get it. I don't fully get it. Honestly, I think the thing that I hate most when people censor it is the unaliving. You do not have to say unalive in order for your video to keep being monetized. You can just say death. You can just say kill. You can just say suicide. Yeah, you might get if you say the word suicide, you might get a warning on your video, but it's not going to be demonetized. Usually. I mean, I'm not fully an expert. I'm sure it happens to some people, otherwise it wouldn't have become such a big thing that happens. Dingus. Oh, it's after 8, isn't it? Oh, I guess we're going to 8:30 then. The longer I deny myself food, the less food I'll have to eat. Mine. Yes, Ducky? No! No, I won't eat right now! I'm not starving or anything. Guys, I am 143 pounds at 5 feet tall. If I didn't eat anything else today, I would be doing better. I am fat. I do not have to worry about under-eating or being malnourished. I promise I will eat. I'm too fat and too addicted to food to not eat. But I need to lose the weight. Not just to be pretty, but to be healthy. Carrying around an excess 30 pounds on your body, even though you might not feel it very much, it still has an effect on you. My mom actually, she used to weigh more than me, but she actually worked really hard and was able to lose a lot of weight, so now she weighs less than me, which frankly I'm embarrassed about. And she said she feels like an entirely different person. She has fewer episodes. That's really good. I want that. I want to be skinny. AJ, it doesn't always work like that. Generally, starving yourself makes your body try to keep that weight on for survival. I know that. But there's also this thing called intermittent fasting. I think I said the first word wrong. But it's where you don't eat for one day and then you eat a lot the next day. And that will help you. That's something that people do. I'm not fully going for that, but because I think that would be too hard and that would probably give me a serious episode. But I am just in general trying to eat less meals, I'm getting enough food. I really am. I'm still getting a healthy amount of calories. I'm just getting fewer of them at a time, I guess. I'm just trying to space out my eating breaks a little bit more, you know? That's what I'm trying to say. I'm 116 pounds. I need to be 120 or 130. Okay, so you are... Ducky, you are the one that needs to eat. Don't even get on my case about not eating in a timely manner. Because I'm overweight. You're underweight. We're not the same. Like, what? I'm just. This is a really insensitive thing to say, but I wish for, like, just like a week or 3. Just for 1 month, I wish I could have it eating disorder. Because my budget can't handle my eating needs. I wish eating disorders were something you could turn on and off. Skipping lunches on accident? Ah, I see, I see. I've been trying to go back to skipping breakfast. I used to do that when I was in middle school and early high school before I did high school online. Because you know, I just didn't have a ton of time. I would rather sleep than eat back when I was still in public school. And back then I was a healthy weight. I'm 5 feet tall. I am supposed to be 100 pounds minimum and 120 pounds max. I am 20 pounds overweight. That's not good. That's bad. And you know, being 20 pounds overweight, it doesn't feel good. Like, I can't even imagine being more than this. I just want to be 110 pounds again. Cause I used to be so pretty. Only 20? Well, I used to be 50 pounds overweight, but I have lost quite a bit. Okay, actually, well, if the maximum amount of weight I'm supposed to be is 120 pounds, I was 35 pounds overweight. I started the year at 155 pounds, which when you were 5 feet tall, a 35 pounds overweight when you're only 5 feet tall looks very different than if I were any taller. If I were even 3 inches taller, I would not look as fat as I actually as I am. Because then there would be more space for the weight to fall and whatnot. All bodies are beautiful to me. I get that. Well, no, not all bodies are beautiful. I'm gonna show you something foul. Hang on a sec. I would eat pebbles. Don't do that. I'm 80 pounds fatter than I should be. Man, I hate to tell you this, but you gotta lose some of that. That's not good. 80 pounds overweight can very easily turn into 200 pounds overweight. Alright, everybody, are you ready to see something foul? Are you ready to see something absolutely foul? This is your last warning. Look away now. This is what stretch marks look like on somebody who is extremely obese. This is not pretty. This is bad. Okay, this is what the cost of obesity actually looks like. It's foul. Like, this one is especially bad. That's what it looks like. And you know, there's a very big difference between stretch marks that just like happen naturally. Most people get stretch marks. This is different. You are not supposed to get stretch marks like this. This is unnatural. there's also like if you are extremely fat, like if you don't shower every single day and shower very well every single day, you can get serious skin infections that can like really mess with you, that are really bad. You can get really bad rashes that other people don't get because the sweat gets trapped within the skin folds. It's bad. So, you know, I think body positivity is good for people who, like, are just a little bit fat. Like, between, like, if you're 50 pounds overweight, it's fine. I think body positivity is meant for people who are 50 pounds overweight or less, or have, like, disabilities, you know, stuff that is hard to change, stuff that doesn't, like, matter that much like that. But it's gotten to the point where fat acceptance has gotten to the point where people like are literally dying of obesity and are too fat to breathe properly, that it's just ridiculous. And I feel so bad for all these people that are just going through such horrible food addiction, and they don't know how to get out of it, and they are dying, and they are dying slowly and painfully, and it's really bad. And they have all these kinds of problems that come from being overweight, and it's really unfortunate. I don't think we should be encouraging that. And I don't think anybody should feel comfortable being that overweight. Because if you're comfortable with being that overweight and you love your body when you're that overweight, you're not going to take the steps you need to in order to change. Tryptophobia is acting up again. I'm so sorry. Well, I hope that encourages you to like figure out a way to stop overeating. I'm sorry to call you out specifically. It's your fault. You told me you were a fat. Anyway, um so I found that a good way to keep myself from overeating, um what was I doing? Uh, is actually not to cut quite as many calories, because you know if you go on a really extreme diet, it's not gonna work. Extreme diets do not work, because like once you get to that cheat day, you're gonna undo all of your progress because it's too hard. And a lot of people fail diets because they take measures that are too extreme, that they can't maintain long term. The best way to lose weight is to do it in chunks, where you do calorie deficits, maybe like for a few days, and then after that you just eat maintenance calories, um, and then you go back on it. So it does take quite a long time to lose weight that way, but it is a style of weight loss that you can actually maintain long term. So that way, when you are done being fat, you don't get fat again. There's a difference between muscle and fat. Muscle is necessary, and if done right, can be used to make you stronger. That is true. I have seen that there is this myth that about like gaining muscle, because muscle cells, they are heavier than fat cells. So as but it takes such a long time to gain a pound of muscle that some people will attribute very slow weight loss to gaining muscle instead, and that's just not true. Um, it can take a month to gain a singular pound of muscle. The fact of the matter is, it just takes a long time to lose weight in a healthy manner. You could expect to lose maybe 1 or 2 pounds a week, um, doing weight loss in a healthy way. I think reality TV shows that like The Biggest Loser was one that was popular when I was a kid. They've kind of like ruined people's ideas of how much weight you should be losing, and I think it's become very discouraging to people. go eat, but I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone. I'm not that far away from being done. Alright. Okay. Alright, fellas. It's 8:30. I'm gonna go eat dinner, and I will see you all tomorrow in the Discord, probably. I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow. I guess we'll find out. Goodbye, everyone.